Wushu has like always been there for me. You know, it's always been a way for me to cope or a way for me to just like get back on track. I've always had those moments throughout my life where I'm like, damn, I need to get my shit together. I need to go back and train. I need to train. Whether or not I know exactly what I'm gonna do, I just need to get back in there. I need to be with my teammates. I need to be with my coach. I need to just like, you know, something to help me focus. So I used to be a competitive figure skater, like full time. Like my first year being competitive, like I was around 9 or 10. And so my mom, she took me to Harbin. Took me to Harbin for figure skating training. I'm not sure, but I think maybe one of the coaches suggested that, like, oh, you know, you should put her in maybe Wushu or something. And so when I came back, my mom was like, okay, well, I should enroll you in Wushu because it's very similar and it's gonna be good for your figure skating. And my mom works in Oakland, Chinatown. So it was literally just a block away from Ome. I loved it right away. I fell in love with it right away because I was really encouraged a lot. I went to nationals in San Diego. That year, that was where I saw all the high-level athletes. I saw Alfred, I saw Arthur Chen, and the Haight sisters, and Rory. Everybody from Squaw, I was like, wow. And so my mom, I think she spoke to Sherry Haight. She actually recommended that I try out at Wushu West. So I just tried out for a day. I really liked it. I was with Sherry and Jennifer. They're trying out for the national team. Colin Lee is super serious, and David Chang. All those people at that time, I was just like, okay, I want to reach that level. I want to be like that. And during that time, I was also constantly being encouraged to just keep pushing through. And they were saying that I had potential, doing really well in competition. And I was like, oh, really? I had no idea. Okay, well, let me just keep going and see what happens. And then that's when Tiffany came. Tiffany Reyes, she was scouting schools at the time. So she tried out at Wushu West for a few months. That was the first time I actually experienced like training with Tiffany. Because at the time she was like top of her class. Like she was, in my opinion, the best female athlete in the country. Saw her at CMAT every year, and I was just like, oh my God, she's so good. Like I idolized her. And she came to train with us, and Hao Zhihua put me behind her during basics, and I was like, oh, hell no. And she's like, you gotta keep up with her. And then she left, and I was really sad. I didn't mean to, but I just so happened to have set a goal to reach her level. And she was gone. I didn't know where she went, and then I suddenly saw her at team trials in 2005, and I was like, hey. I didn't know anything about team trials. I knew nothing at all. I went into it with zero expectations. I taught myself how to fill out the Nandu sheet, even though I filled it out completely wrong. I even choreographed my own form at that time. I think I was like 15. I was like, I think this is cool. I'm gonna do this. Like, I just threw in a bunch of stuff. Like, it was crazy. There weren't that many females competing at the time. So by default, I was in C team. I just reached high school and pretty rebellious at the time and kind of angry, just angry at the world in general. Hao Zhihua thought that I wasn't taking it seriously. At the time, you know, I didn't think about like what I did wrong, what I could have done to also have made her lose interest in pushing me. But I was just like, okay, my coach is no longer pushing me or whatever. Let me migrate over and find where Tiffany's training, and that's how I found Dingwei. I'm like, I'm gonna follow Tiff. So I made C 2 times in a row in 2005 and 2007. And then in 2009 was when they changed how they were going to select the team. They separated the categories. In the Nentren division, none of the athletes made the minimum score required to make the team. I was the next highest score up, so I was lucky enough to take that slot. So in 2009, I finally made A team. Yeah, it was really emotional. Every 2 years for every team trials, starting from the first time I tried out, that's 4 years. That's 4 years of not making the team, and then maybe 3 years of finally realizing that I actually wanted it. That's a long time. It was tough at the time because right after trials, Dingwei left Ome. So all his loyal students were kind of left without a place to train. So most of the time I was just training on hardwood floor by myself at the gym. I wasn't ready for it. I did not prepare to even be around that crazy high caliber level of athletes there. Like, it was extremely overwhelming for me. And then on top of that, I didn't perform the way I wanted to. Oh, I was super unsatisfied. I missed the warm-up for Changchun. So they were running behind schedule for the morning session, and I was in the afternoon session. They were an hour behind, and so that means they started the lunch break an hour late. And then suddenly, I think Joanna Pei messaged me and was like, "Hey, the bus is here, we need to go." I'm like, "What?" I didn't have any warm-up for Changchun. It was the worst. I messed up my Kouchui Pingheng. Back then I had a butterfly twist split, so I didn't even warm that up. And I landed out of the ring. It was the worst. It was really discouraging for me at the time. I still didn't know exactly what I was doing, but I also think partly at the time I didn't know the rules very well either. And unfortunately, neither did Dingwei. So I think that's also why for a long time I just didn't know. I didn't know exactly where to go. I just kind of kept playing around with different things here and there. Like, so this is not working. Okay, let me try something else. Well, this is still not working. Let me try something else. And that actually, that lasted for actually quite a few years. I didn't know what I was doing. I really didn't. I know it doesn't seem that way. It doesn't seem that way. All I did was just train the best that I could. The best that I thought I was supposed to. I think other than Tiffany, everyone else didn't know the rules at all. How to check for back sweep, how to check for balance, the best way to strategize your form to make you look fast and sharp and everything. So every time we wanted to simplify our form, Dingwei would be like, "No, that's too easy. No, that's too easy. You need to put more movement, more stances, more this, more that," because he's super old school. He trained us to just be trying to be perfection for every single movement. But yeah, he kind of forced us to stick it out, and he was like, "No, you just need to train more." So it was when I came back after team trials in 2013. That was my first year competing in spear. And then I got a deduction for not having enough lanazas. And even though I know my spear form wasn't quite up to par, I feel like that's just a silly deduction. That's something I should have known. I feel like that's something my coach should have known, especially when he was the one who was helping me with choreography. And when I came back, I had a long private talk with Dingwei. I'm like, I know it is also my job to know these rules, but as a coach, I feel like that's specifically your job. In 2009 was my first time, and then I didn't make it again until 2015. I was definitely more prepared for it because I wasn't as starstruck as the first time. This time around, I was like, okay, I need to treat these athletes like they're my competitors. I belong here. That's what I had to tell myself. That was the only way for me to feel comfortable on the carpet during the warm-up and all that stuff. I didn't want to waste this chance that I had because I didn't know if I was going to have another one, especially after waiting 6 years. I confided in Gaojie and Xiaomin, just consulting with them, what should I do? And I would show them some of my choreo, and they would tell me this doesn't fit. You need to do moves that make you happy, that that fit you, that you can enjoy, and you can really perform and really own it. It doesn't match what's happening currently in Wushu right now. And I'm like, I know, I just, I trusted my coach 100%. It's a sport now. We can't just stick with one coach just because of loyalty or whatever. It doesn't mean I disrespect you as a coach or I don't like you. It's just not working anymore and I need to move on. It's really common. I mean, like if figure skaters can do it all the damn time, like why should it be so taboo for us just because, okay, culturally and traditionally it's a Chinese sport or it's a martial art, but like I couldn't do it anymore, I'm not getting any younger. Like I just didn't want to waste the little time that I had left to compete at this level. This time around, I also had Gaoja helping me. She took the National Judges course in 2015, and she had experience judging that year, that adult or senior team trials. So she knew what to look for, and she really helped me out with how to strategize, like my choreography and all these small little details, like for deductions and stuff. I felt really good. Yeah, I felt really good. At the time, I felt like that was my personal best because this time I actually had a plan. I had someone guiding me. I knew exactly what to do. And it was nice where I could just get on the carpet and just kind of just enjoy myself. Whereas before I was like, I felt very uncomfortable because I was doing movements that I wasn't sure I was good at, and so having that feeling made me feel like I didn't belong, with these other athletes. But this time around, I definitely felt a lot better, a lot more comfortable, more confident. I kind of flip-flop between like oversimplifying my form and then going back and adding more movements. Actually, it's funny because that's one of the reasons why I still stuck out. I still stuck it out with the choreo that Dingwei gave me back then. I didn't want to simplify it so much, but then I also knew that it was too much for me personally. I just couldn't find a middle ground. And it sucks. I feel like I'm selling out sometimes when I oversimplify my form. I'm like, damn, I just did half my form and all of it was Nandu. It kind of sucks. I feel like that's not a form. That's not a Wushu form at all. I just did a bunch of jumps. Because I don't want to just like copy off of a China athlete. I want to feel the movement on my own. It's the feeling. Because you need to imagine that you are fighting somebody. If you can feel that in your body and just play, who knows what you can come up with. It took me years and years and years to finally develop a style that fits me. I actually learned a lot from Tiff. Like when we trained together and you should maybe try this, maybe try that. And we would kind of like mirror each other and we would look at each other. It was amazing. I wouldn't be where I am in my Wushu without her. I just don't want to give up. I just don't want to give up because I know that, every time I wasn't fully satisfied with it, like even in the 2015 Worlds, like looking at my straight sword score, had I not gotten like a 0.1 deduction, I could have gotten third. Wow. Or, I placed fifth in long fist. I'm so close. Just seeing, like seeing my name up there on the scoreboard it just confirmed it for me that I do belong up there. I never thought that I did, honestly. Because I just knew I could do better and there was something missing. I'm missing something, that there's something I'm not doing. I honestly thought to myself, like, if I even place in the top 4, I'm happy with that and I'll be done. I'm not even expecting myself to medal. I just want to feel satisfied. I just want to feel, finally, like this weight off my shoulder. I did it. I did everything I could do. I feel like now, actually, I'm finally starting to figure it out, though. It took a long time. It's been a journey.
Where we have Stephanie Lim from the United States, very seasoned U.S. athlete.